Shut up and sit down.
Hi, I'm PJ McTavish and welcome back to another D.C.G tutorial. So now we're finishing off 2017 section A. So we're doing question A-4 now. So this is a projection systems question, a bit of an orthographic projection question. So the plan, elevation, and view of an archery target are shown. The line PA, that's our line PA here, represents a plan of an arrow just before it hits the target. The arrow travels horizontally in a straight flight path. So draw the arrow PA in the end view and in the elevation. Okay, and then it says determine the projections of the arrow when it hits the target. So this is the arrow before it's shot. What they want you to show is show it here before it's shot and show it in the elevation before it's shot also. So let's start projecting over. So it's horizontal, so that means if you draw a straight line up from P, just continue it over, it is going to be on that line somewhere. So what I need to do is bring the end A out here to the edge, project it up, and straight up. And that is A here in the elevation. And then you need to project that up to the elevation zone. So just put that in a bit of colour because if you read on through the question, it will be second arrow, so just distinguishing the two. So that's part A, draw the arrow in end view and in elevation, you already have a plan. Part B, determine the projections of the arrow when it hits the target. Now, you can continue it on, it's not going to curve or anything, so continue it on in the plan, but you won't know where it hits the surface of the target. Whereas if you look at the end view, it's giving you a perfect edge view of the target itself. So if we continue on here in the end view, we know exactly where it's going to hit. So it's hitting here at this point here. So if we're to project that point down, swing it around, we know where it ends in the plan, and then we project up to the elevation. So let's extend on our arrow PA. It's already extended on here, so it hits there. A here. Now, when it comes, this is where it hits the target. And when it comes to the length, we're not just going to mark in that length again. Enough. It doesn't seem right. So the only view where it's a true length is the plan. So now that I know where it's hit the target, project that down. Project that down to your plan. That now is point A. And we have a true length in the plan. So this is the length from P to A. Get that on your compass and step it back from A. So that's point P. Once you found it in plan, you can project that up to your elevation. Also with A, so project up A, project up P. Do the same over here, we need to bring P back to the end view. So project that back up to the end view as well. So now that shows you where it hits the target in all three views. So that's part B. Don't determine the projections of the arrow when it hits the target. Lastly then is C. The second arrow travelling in a straight line also passes through point P and hits the target at the bullseye, which is the center point. Determine the true angle between the two flight paths. So first things first, let's try marking now. It doesn't give you a length first, it just gives you the flight path, and we're just getting the angle between them. So I'll put that in the flight path in blue maybe. So it travels from point P in a straight line and it hits the center. So this is the flight path in plan, and same in elevation, because that's our point P, and that's our, you're looking straight in it. And then this is our center point here in the end view, and it goes through point P. So that was the flight path in the end view. Now, straight off the bat, it looks like they're trying to catch out, and you go, well, sure, that's the angle there in between the two of them. But if you look at where the best way to show it is here in the end view, your arrow, the flight path of the arrow, PA, travels horizontally, whereas this one it was just a straight line, so, and it had to go through P, so it went through P and hit the center, so it's dipping down. So this won't be a true representation because it's dipping down below the line. So what we need is the angle between our original arrow and the new one here. So what we're looking at here is a bit of rotation. What you want to do is, it's dipping down, so what you want to do is rotate it up so it's parallel, or sitting on the same plane, parallel to the horizontal plane, sitting on the same plane as the original arrow. Now what we are given though is a true length here. Okay, that's a true length of the flight path. Reason for that is it is a straight line here, and it's perpendicular to the XY line, or in this case perpendicular to the plane in which you are projecting on to for the end view. So due to that straight line here, we know this is a true length. So that's a true length. We can step that off from P in order to figure out where our rotation is once it comes up, because once you rotate it up here in the elevation, it will represent the true length. So get that true length on your compass first, and we'll step it off from point P in the plan. So it's going to be on that arc somewhere. Secondly, if we're just rotating it around our PA line here, from the original P to that A there, if we're rotating it around there, the point here, basically if we were to make a triangle there, and basically like your set square, and it was dipping down, and you're rotating it up. If we join a line from the center point here, perpendicular to the rotation line, it will continue out, it'll still be perpendicular once it's rotated up. So I'm going to draw a line perpendicular to the edge there from that center point. Extend that down, and what should happen is it should cross your arc, and where it crosses your arc, that's where our new arrow would be if it was brought up. So this is our true length here. Just double check with our set squares that that is perpendicular to our angle. Okay, just a bit off there with the protractor. So you're rotating it up, so perpendicular to our line rotation here, it's still going to be perpendicular. So we continue that point out, and this is a point on our new arrow flight path. So continue that out. That was our true length arc, and where they meet is where our line would be if it was rotated up. So this is our true length after rotation. So what we've done is just rotate it up. Remember, you see here it's dipping down. We just rotated it up to be on the same plane. So now what we can do, does it say indicate? No, just determine again. So we have now determined the true angle between both flight paths, because that is our true angle within here. There was a question similar to this a couple of years back with a 15-degree angle and goals or penalty kicks. I think that's up on the channel as well. So that is question A4 done. Again, orthographic projection, basically very straightforward. That's a nice handy question to get. Now that was last year, so to have something as easy as that, I'm not too sure will come up again. But that was a good question. So that's the question done. As always, I hope these tutorials help and help you with your study for the exams. And as always, if it does help, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to see when I upload a few more questions. I'll try and get a few more up before the exams on the 20th of June. So as always, hope it helps. Good luck in your exams, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay, sure, we talk to you tomorrow, so just email it to my dinner, really can show us. Long, bye bye.